Welcome to Planet of NY Sports. Here we talk Yankees, Mets, Giants, Jets, and a little bit of the Knicks and Nets. So, you guys see the title. You see the title. So, let's get this straight here. We go from this to this and back to this. Carlos Correa has agreed to a deal with the Minnesota Twins, 6 years, $200 million. Rodrick, how are you feeling?
Terrible. Terrible is one way to put it. Um, Distraught is another. Angry, one more. And I just, I'm at a loss for words. It's just we can't just get the Mets label off of us. We have to just do Met things, and I hate the Twins. Just hate them. 100% hate them.
Okay, well, you gather your thoughts over there because I know you're going to have a lot more to say. So, if you all didn't know, yes, like there was a whole scenario with Carlos Correa's physical. We saw it with the Giants originally, and then the Mets. They also had some questions about Correa's physical. So, over the last few weeks, it's been kind of quiet, but we do know that the Mets they've been kind of like, all right, well, like I said before, originally in one of our other videos, Scott Boras, I said that he was actually looking, elsewhere. Rodrick didn't believe me. Rodrick said that it was just a ploy. I could believe that, but I guess it really wasn't, and they actually were talking to the Twins. So, Rodrick, what are your thoughts on that? Do you
I
feel
hate Scott Boris. I hate him.
cheated on?
I do. I do. I felt like I just my ex, my now ex just cheated on me with with just an awful franchise. If we're being honest, they haven't won anything ever, but that's neither here nor there. It's just
They did.
frustrating.
They did win the World Series more recently than the Mets, though.
They did.
Yeah, 1991.
Yeah. Okay. All right, buddy. The Twins haven't beat the Yankees in who knows how long. But again, it's not about the Twins here. It's a New York podcast. Go back to the Mets here. Speaking of the Mets, this happened pretty often with players being rumored to go to us, being heavily linked to us, and then they just leave. I know I didn't snap there. I can't snap, but you know what I'm trying to say. If you look at guys like Trevor Bauer, Noah Syndergaard, now Correa, who else? Watch what happen to Otani next year, for all I know. Like, it's just, I know we're a big market team, and everybody's gonna be like, oh, when like any free agent player hits the market, it's a Dodgers, Yankees, all that stuff. But at some point, it's just gotta be like, stop messing with us and just give us the straight facts. Um, that's it on that front.
Okay, so just to give some details here about what the Mets were willing to do. So the Mets were willing to guarantee 6 years at 157.5 million, and but the final six would have only been like conditionally guaranteed. So, Rodrick, how do you feel about like the contract situation?
I can't fault Stevie because at the end of the day, he's the richest owner in baseball. If he wanted to give Correa the twin deal, he could have done that. It's not like we were like, you know, didn't have the funds for that. It's just the front office didn't feel like he was worth it. And I know you're not gonna like this, but future Met, Manny Machado. Because I can back myself up on this in a second. Because the front office, apparently, per sources, was having talks about Manny Machado potentially being a free agency next year, being a free agent next year, and that's what impacted their deal with Correa. So look, I'm not saying that it's a done deal, but like, can't we get some edits of Manny Machado in a Mets jersey, just to have fun with, just so I can look at, we'll probably give him like, I don't know, 5 years, $200 million. No. Wait. That's too much. Maybe like
Too
175.
much. Too much. If you want the guy, he's already opting out of like a 30 mil per year. So like,
Oh yeah, we'll give him 40. We'll give him 40 a year. No problem. We'll get that done, and then we'll have another Puerto Rican. Wait, is Manny Machado? Excuse me. Is Manny Machado Puerto Rican?
wait, what'd you say?
Is Manny Machado Puerto Rican?
Um, I mean, I think so. You can look
No.
that up.
Okay. We'll have a left side of the infield that's Puerto Rican, and we'll go win 5 championships in 4 years. Simple.
No, he's actually Dominican.
Whatever.
So that's not a good look, Roger.
I was guessing. I asked. All right.
So here's what you did bring up. So yeah, this I mean, I can't really fault the Mets, to be honest, if this is the case though, because I'd rather have Manny Machado at third than Carlos Correa. What about you?
Well, seeing what Manny Machado did to the Mets in person in Game 1, I think I'd rather have him on my team.
I know like Correa, like with the postseason and stuff, like of course you're gonna get that if he's healthy. But like still, like Manny Machado has been more healthy and stuff like these past few years. Correa, he's always hurt. So I'm just gonna play devil's advocate here and say this is not the worst thing in the world for the Mets. I think Rodrick, I think you're overreacting just a tad. I think eventually you'll get it out of your system, and then you'll wake up tomorrow and you'll be like, screw, Carlos Correa, let's go Manny Machado. Like this isn't the worst thing because, like you said, there's going to be free agents next year available, and you still have Brett Beatty now. I mean, you still have prospects, so it's not like this was the only option for the Mets. So I don't think this is necessarily the worst thing in the world. So how are you feeling about that?
I feel like if we do trade Escobar, it's his Beatty spot. And as of right now, if you look at the Mets lineup, it's a lot of guys who are I'm not gonna say old, but they're getting up there in age. You got guys like Marte and Canna and who else? I'm sorry, I'm blanking here. But we have guys that are pretty old or not not in their prime, I'll say. If you get a guy like Beatty who's young and has a lot of potential, that might be good for a Mets lineup because it's a bat pitchers haven't seen as much, and it'd be just something. It's a different look, and I think sometimes you might need that in a team just to kind of freshen things up. So if Beatty comes up and he performs at a big league level, sure, I'd be more than happy to have him.
Yeah, and just for some more details here. So Carlos Correa's agreement with the Minnesota Twins does have a vesting option for 4 years and 70 million, and it will become official if, and this is a big if at this point, he passes his physical. Now, I think he probably will, given like that the Twins have basically they had him last year, so like I think in this case it's a little different now, but still.
Could you imagine?
There's
Could you
some
imagine?
there's some
What do we have?
Trevor Story is having Tommy John surgery.
Uh-oh.
Let me just confirm that. He had right elbow surgery. No, he's going to miss 4 to 6 months. Tough. All right. Anyways, but going back on to the better player in Carlos Correa.
That's so rude.
I mean, like I said, I don't think this is the worst thing in the world. The Mets, you guys have infield prospects. You still got Beatty, who's, he's shown promise. He's been I remember watching the first game too, where like he hit a home run in his first, like that was actually. Yeah, what was your reaction during that?
I'm sorry. Let me think. I remember I was downstairs with my dad and my brother. We were eating. I forget what we were eating, but I was sitting there thinking like, is he gonna hit a home run? Like I had that gut feeling like he was about to go deep, and he got a second curveball, and then he just rocked it. And also, as somebody who's seen Beatty in person, he's huge. By the way, he's massive. He's a train, but he looks like he has all the tools to become a future big league hitter. And I'm no scout, but like I know a good baseball player when I see one. And he looks like somebody who can. I don't want to say be the face of a franchise, but he could be the horror beside to somebody's Derek Jeter. Perfect example. So if he can be that, if he can be the Jorge Posada to Lindor's Derek Jeter or whatever comparison you want to use, sure. I mean, I could see it happening. It's not out of the realm of possibility,
Hmm.
as Russell
Okay.
is.
Okay. So here, so there is a tweet here that I would just like to show. So, Rodrick, it says Steve Cohen and Billy Epler saw something they didn't like. The Twins are taking a big risk, and they dodged the bullet. See, so I'm not the only one saying.
I kind of just said that though. I kind of was like, well, we know Steve has the money.
Yeah.
It's just that the front office didn't think that that was a smart move to make, and it's still Correa K. Like I still don't like the guy, but if I gotta trust my front office. They've given me no reason to not trust them at this point in time. The people who they've let go and or traded have at some point in time been under question for their talents. DeGrom gets hurt, has been the same pitcher we've seen in previous years. McCann sucks. Correa injury hit. Like they're being smart about how they spend their money. It's like some teams, the Yankees, have been known for just spending money crazily. And if you do that, sometimes you may get a couple of gems. But if you spend money wisely, your money will, it'll come back to you. So if the front office, which again, they give me no reason to not trust them, but if they keep making smart moves and the team keeps getting better, I can't complain. I can't get too mad at the end of the day. So, yeah.
Okay, so you just brought up the Yankees here. So, I mean, you want to, you did spend the most money this offseason, like, still. Like, do you know, like, what the Mets payroll is at right now, even though without...
Before Correa?
Yeah.
I think before Correa, it was approaching 500 million. Probably now it's around, 450, 430, something around there, which is absurd because that's like, I don't know, 6, 7 times more than some other big league teams. But, yeah. What's your point?
Okay, wait, so I have it here. So the projected payroll is 327 million. So that's the projected payroll. We haven't had a payroll as big as that, but you are correct in which the Yankees. Yeah, listen,
Inflation, buddy.
I am literally okay. All right, but anyway, you are correct in which we have seen the Yankees in like past years where they spend stupid amounts of money on certain players and it doesn't work out. Jacoby Ellsbury, to name a few. But like you said, if you do spend it wisely, it will eventually come back to you. I did say before, Steve Cohen is spending like a drunken sailor. I mean, he at the time he was. Now it doesn't really look like it anymore. But I mean,
I don't think the Mets have had a signing in his tenure where it's just been like bad. Like,
well, he's had a short tenure though, so we can't really say.
I know, but he's made some big signings and made some big moves. So, I mean, besides Lindor's like first year where he was pretty average, besides that, he's been really good as an owner, just overall. Which the Wilpons, every passing day just gets even better. But I digress.
All right, so Rodrick, is there any more topics about this subject that you want to go over?
Mets in 5.
Against who?
The Twins. And in Game 7 of the World Series.
The Twins have to get past the Yankees first.
And Game 7 of the World Series. Bottom 9th. Bases loaded. 3-2 count. The Twins are down by 3. Comes up to the plate. Carlos Correa. 3-2 pitch. Edwin Diaz. 104-mile-an-hour fastball at his hands. He swings and misses wildly, and the Mets win the World Series. That is all. That is all.
Yep, we're going to end it off there. If you can all do me a favor, please hit that like button and that subscribe button. We'll see you in another video that we're about to do going over the NFL playoff schedule. So we'll be talking about that. Please tune into that, and we'll see you in the next video, everyone. Peace out.